So hello everybody, I'm Vicky Stanton from Vicky Stanton Coaching. I'm a qualified and accredited personal coach, but I shall tell you about that in a minute or two. So just a bit about me to start with. So here are some pictures of people who are important to me. And who am I? So, well, I am a daughter and I'm a granddaughter. So starting at the top left, that is my mum and my dad and my mum's mum and dad, so my grandma and my grandpa, probably my closest grandparents. My grandpa was probably my soulmate in this world, I think. I'm an only child, and that's moving around, that's me and my lovely dad, who is the only one of those four who is still left on this earth with me. Moving around, so I'm a partner to Paul, and that's us on our holidays, celebrating my 50th birthday not so long ago now. I'm also stepmom to Ollie, so that's Oliver and Chris, partner, and Oliver is 28. Ollie's the one on the right as you look at the picture. I'm also a friend. I'm a very good friend to people who are my friends, and that was Oliver celebrating my 50th birthday when we got back from Mauritius. That was a lovely suntan. And I'm also a guide leader, and that's me at the World Scout Jamboree in Essex in 2007, I think. So how did I get to where I am today? Well, I started off as a retail management trainee at the Co-op. Chose not to go to university, and it was really hard. I wanted to go into personnel, as it was in those days. It was really hard to get in if you hadn't been to university. So I got a job working for the Co-op here in Nottinghamshire as a retail management trainee, and actually it was blooming good training. I got the opportunity after about a year. I'd not done so well in my A-levels, so I wasn't able to go and do the degree, so I did an HND. And after I'd finished that, the personnel manager said to me, right, so you can now go and do a degree. And I said, actually, I'd rather do my Institute of Personnel Management, which were the professional exams for personnel in those days. And he said, you can do that as long as you pass them the first time. I went, okay. I didn't know at that point that really very few people passed all of their exams in one go, but I'd said I had to, so I had to, and I did. IPM then became the CIPD, and I am a chartered fellow of the CIPD, which is the professional body of the HR world, but it doesn't mean to say that everybody in the HR world has to be a member of the CIPD. But after I'd worked at the Co-op, I'd worked in HR at the Co-op, I then went to work for Morrison's Supermarkets, probably my toughest job ever, long hours, hard company to work for. And I then decided it was time to move on, but I got a bit of a generalist HR experience working for them. I then went to work for Pedigree Pet Foods. I then moved to Derbyshire County Council and Social Services, completely different world. I really don't think I was ever cut out to work in the local government arena. But I then moved to Nottinghamshire Police, which was my last paid job. And I worked for them, served with them really till 2011 when my post was made redundant. And after that, I then sort of, I suppose, did I drift? I didn't start my business. I actually decided that I was going to go and do some interim HR work. And I set up my HR consultancy to get paid. That's how I sort of started in my own business. While I was doing my HR work, I decided that I would really like to go and train to be a pure coach. So I went back to the people who I'd done some work with at the police, and I did my postgraduate certificate in business and personal coaching in 2011. And it's very much mindset, transformational coaching, but I choose to work with business owners because actually they're a niche market. So I set up my HR consultancy. I started then to get some clients, but I also then, alongside that, started to build my coaching consultancy. And then in 2017, I bought a franchise, a women's business club called the Athena Network, and I still run that alongside my business. So my whole business now is very much about helping people be their best self and focusing on them and their business. But, you know, we all have stuff that happens that I think helps us be the person that we are. And these are probably the things that have been my milestone things in becoming who I am today. So as I said, I was made redundant. My post was made redundant in 2011. I share this in the sense that actually going through redundancy was pretty horrific. It was a pretty much a horrible process. It lasted for about a year, and I was managing my staff who were also going through redundancy as well as myself, and it broke me. To be quite honest, it absolutely broke me. So I came out of that with some mental health challenges. Really, I didn't have a depressive illness, although I did have a depressive illness previously when my grandfather passed away. Told you my grandpa was my soulmate. That's him and me. He was a farmer. He was an English timber merchant, and that is my favourite photograph. And then my mum passed away 18 months after my grandpa. My mum was my best friend, and so the two things really did cause me to have some, well, I suppose huge meltdown. I suppose is probably the best way to say that. But you know what? Coaching helped me through the fog of those two things, and that's the way I would describe it, getting some clarity. And actually I came out of that thinking, do you know what, I have to take back control of my life, and also I'm not ever going to give away my power again, because that's exactly what I'd done in those instances. And out of that, so that picture of me there with the banner was me pre my 4-stone weight loss, and that was me after my 4-stone weight loss. I'm back on that journey right now. I haven't quite put everything back on me, but I'll be back there one day. So what's important to me then? Well, my values are hugely important. So my values that I absolutely know are my honesty, my integrity, fairness and recognition are my top 4 values. But equally, my family is really important. We're a very small, close-knit family. My friends are really important. My clients are important. I actually see my clients as part of my extended family because I want to make a difference to them, and I want to enable them to make a difference to either themselves or the people that they work with. And actually having fun and enjoying life is probably my biggest thing, because you know what? We're not here for that long. Trust me, when you get to 55 nearly, you suddenly realise there's less time left than you've had already. And I want everybody that I come into contact to know that they can be and do and have anything that they choose. Just have the right stuff. So here's a bit about what I do. So I'm a qualified business and personal coach. I'm an accredited coach with the International Coaching Federation, which means that I have to reaccredit myself every 3 years. It means I have to keep up to date with what I'm doing. I'm a mindset and transformational change coach, really. Did you know 80% of business success is mindset driven? So I'm a business coach, but actually most of it is down to the person I work with. And every coach should have a coach. So if you're going to work with a coach, ask them if they've got a coach. Because if they think coaching is the right thing to be selling you, then they should absolutely have a coach themselves. And if they haven't, question why not. So here's just really what coaching is all about. It is about providing a thought-provoking creative process. It is a process that will inspire my client to maximise their personal and professional potential. It helps people tap into previous untapped sources, imagination, productivity and leadership. And actually partnering with a coach can change your life. It changed my life, absolutely changed my life, changed my focus, really saw me, it helped me see me for who I truly am. And as it says there, it can set you on a path to greater personal and professional. And that's the definition from the ICF. So it's not just something I made up. So here's simply though what I do. So I work with smart businesses. They're smart because they understand working on themselves is the way to go. And I help them get clarity on what they want. But everything I do is bespoke. It's always on their terms. It's in their own time. So there's no time limit on stuff. And it is about them. It is not about me. And a lot of coaches, from what I've heard, is they try and instill in their clients what they've done and how they've done it. But that's irrelevant. It's about the person I'm working with. And that's really what we do. Discuss where they want to go. We look at what's stopping them getting there. And I always do a DISC profile with my client because it really helps them see how best they like to communicate. So if you were looking out for potential clients for me, what would you maybe hear them say? Because generally people, some people do go, I need a coach, but often people don't. Often people are telling you things that they're struggling with. And these are the things that maybe they might say. They're struggling to plan. They're struggling for time. They don't get the stuff done that they really want to do. They might feel overwhelmed. They don't have a belief in whatever it is they're trying to do. Something doesn't feel quite right. Something is stopping them doing it. They feel they've hit a plateau in their success and they can't go any further. Or sometimes they just want somebody to be able to talk to, who they can just offload their thoughts and ideas. And actually, what I don't ever do is I don't tell them what they should do with those thoughts and ideas, but in talking to somebody else in a non-judgmental way, which is always the thing, they will actually come up with their own answer. We all have the answer to our own questions. We just don't know the questions to ask. So how can people work with me? Well, they can get some free stuff off the site. They can buy my planner, which is always for sale, but coming up to the time of year when people start to buy it, hardbound or loose leaf. I've got various things online they can buy. Already said this morning, I'm starting to launch my women's blueprint program again. It's a 12-module program. I am debating whether to do it for guys and ladies too, so thoughts will be really welcome. And I do one-to-one coaching, which is probably, well, working with people in a way is what I really love. There is my website link. And just to finish off, you can't stop the waves. You can absolutely learn to ride them, and I can help. So that is me done. Thank you for listening. You have my contact details in the chat. Should have put it on there. So thanks for listening, everybody. Any questions? Steve has a question.
Very good as always, Vicky. Thank you very much. Do you, in UW, we have coaches with mentors and stuff like that, which helps us. But I have more than one, so I have different people that go to different parts of our business on that side.
Yeah.
Some people are very good at one thing. Do you do the same thing with coaches? Do you have more than one coach that coaches you?
Yeah, so I think one of the challenges today, if I'm really honest, as a coach, is that everybody calls themselves a coach.
Yeah.
So actually, but I think it's probably right. So yeah, I do, because I think there are people who are, I've got somebody in my life who is a social media coach, and actually she helps me understand what I need to do, because I'm quite happy to put my message out there. I find it easier for me to do it than offload it to somebody else. I have a mindset coach. And then periodically I switch up who I'm working with, because again, I don't think you should necessarily work with the same person consistently for years and years. That relationship gets really stale. But yes, Steve, you're right. When you find you've got something that is causing you a challenge or a blockage, look at what that blockage is. And actually, if it's not necessarily here, if it's something practical to do, go find somebody to help you with it. Whether they're a coach or not a coach, I don't think it matters. It's sort of mentors, a consultant, a person to help you move through that thing that is causing your business or you to stop. Got Lou on the call, who actually, if you want to be a public speaker and you're struggling, go speak to Louise. That's what she does all the time. So I think you have to find the right person at the right time to help you with the thing you're struggling with at that moment.